The next 43 to 35, and we'll just about come to start the third quarter. Charles Oakley came into tonight's game with a sprained left ankle from all of that. So, I just saw the memory of very interesting. We've got six and became very clear. The first is the turn, so we're keeping in into the second half. And I think that every 2 of 6 from the video, 6-7,
getting the good room down low. That's been the story right throughout. He now has 10 points.
Well, he has come out aggressively in the first quarter, now in the third, with the idea of taking the ball to the basket. He can get that jump shot anytime.
Here's Rick Smith. Very quiet first half for Smith. That's his third field goal. He has 6 points. Rick Smith has played Patrick Ewing, at least over the first 4 games, to a standstill. And that a major factor in this series. A series that is tied at 2. Larry Brown and Reggie Miller told us prior to the game. Eric Harper getting it inside to Patrick Ewing with his shot clock running down. And the Knicks now lead by 10. Larry and Reggie saying that this tonight is the biggest game in the history of the Indiana Pacers. That's the NBA history of the franchise. Much success for the Pacers during their ABA days. Workman converts on the jump shot. Indiana Pacers in their ABA days won 3 championships. The last time back in 1973 as they beat the Kentucky Colonels. Smith called for that foul, and that is his 4th.
Well, Indiana taking advantage of Patrick Ewing fronting the post, form a triangle on the right side, get the ball out to a good passer, Jarrett McKee, who has the easy lob pass to the 7'4" Rick Smith, but he is going to have to go to the bench as he hammers Charles Smith going to the hole. Hayward Workman doing a good job of denying the ball. Harper as one more time Smith trying to block that shot, but Smith using his body very well to draw that contact.
And it is a rare trip to the foul line for Charles Smith. Rick Smith sits down. Antonio Davis now will have to contend with the taller Patrick Ewing. Davis comes on for Smith. Now Smith has gone to the line only 4 times the first 4 games. Hits 2 right here. He has 12 points. And the Knicks lead by 10 with a minute and a half gone by in the third quarter. Nice fake by McKee. Was held by Smith.
Well, that quick spin move to the baseline surprised Charles Smith. All he could do was try to reach out and grab. This is an excellent move, but Robert Parrish has done so well for so long.
Indiana opening the third quarter as Harper tried to strip Workman. Workman and Miller in the backcourt. McKee, Dale Davis, and Antonio Davis up front as Workman hits again. 6 points for Workman. Antonio Davis coming on for the foul play. Rick Smith.
Now that's 2 times in a row that Harper has let his man Workman, who's a 33% shooter from the field in this series, and he's nailed 2 of them.
Starks flying the 3, hit 2 in the first half. Miller for Antonio Davis. Offensive foul. Second foul committed by Davis.
Reggie Miller coming off on the 2-man play. Nice little bounce pass, and Patrick Ewing doing a good job of making the rotation. And when you're rotating to not necessarily good outside shooter, although Antonio Davis can make 15-footers, Patrick Ewing got to the perfect spot.
Oakley, yes. 8 points for Oakley. The Knicks 51. The Pacers 41.
Well, the Knicks only have 1 offensive rebound. Oakley has that. He's been hanging on the perimeter. I think a lot of it has to do with that sore foot. He's trying to save himself to the defensive end, and he'll
a good look for Reggie Miller. Beautifully set screen. Hopper eluding McKee. Smith on the run. Smith off the drive. And he'll go back to the line.
Well, whoever said to Charles Smith, get yourself aggressive, start taking the ball to the basket with authority, and good things will happen for you, whether it was somebody on the coaching staff or Charles Smith made up his own mind. He is certainly making a valuable contribution to New York here tonight, one that they desperately need from that small forward spot, which is what Pat Riley was telling us earlier.
That's Charles Smith making it back this season from the arthroscopic knee surgery, and his scoring averages over the years have certainly dipped off. Got some playing time as a member of the LA Clippers. He has been in and out of the Knicks lineup at first. Did not adjust to the change in position. Then had the knee problems, did not play well for a spell. Foul is called. Starks raising his hand, and he is hit with his third.
A little surprised John Starks got himself caught underneath the basket, but there again, the natural instinct of the Knicks players to help out on that whip pass. Starks winds up with Davis, and knowing that he is not a good free throw shooter and struggling tonight from the line, 3 for 13 in the series. Better put him on the line rather than give him a dunk.
The Knicks lead by 12. And you see Dale Davis 0 for 5 at the line. It will be Knicks ball. Last touched by Dale Davis. Indiana now 3 of 15 at the foul line. Reaching foul call. Derek McKee called for his third. So Smith sitting down with 4. McKee has 3. For the next 3 apiece on Smith and Starks. In the third quarter. Smith facing a double team, able to weave inside.
Charles Smith has been the primary option here to start the third period, looking for him first on the post. If they don't get it, then they'll swing it around and look inside to Patrick Ewing at the end of the shot clock.
We're seeing a performance by Charles Smith that has rarely been seen here at the Garden this season. 10 points for Derek McKee, and the Knicks now lead 55-43. 16 points for Charles Smith. Patrick Ewing leading the Knicks with 17. Smith with 8 of his 16 here in the third quarter. Shot clock at 5. Starks with the finger roll. McKee handling it. Miller for 3. And rebounded by Smith. The Knicks put the ball and a 12-point lead. Oakley with no hesitation goes too strong. And the rebound handled by Antonio Davis.
Again, Charles hanging on the perimeter and taking that long jumper too readily.
Antonio Davis bit out of his range. Workman now played on a switch by Ewing. Looking for the mismatch, and he found it. McKee diving on the floor, but Ewing took it out of his hands, and they'll jump it out. Joe Crawford with the call, but first Pat Riley takes a timeout. 6:51 remaining in the third. The Knicks have a 12-point advantage.
For a loose ball to force a jump ball as the players start to disengage. Haywood Workman with just a little fake tap on the top of the left knee of Patrick Ewing is going to get himself a technical foul, and as the two players parted, Patrick Ewing had a message for Haywood Workman, which earned him a technical, and now Patrick has 5 in the series.
Patrick Ewing with his 5th technical. That's for the entire playoffs. And Ernest Maxwell leading the way with 9. So double technicals called on Workman and Ewing. 6:51 remaining. In the third quarter, the Knicks lead by 12. The jump ball called on the tie-up. Ewing going against McKee. And the Knicks control. The Knicks with a backcourt of Harper and Starks. Ewing, Oakley, and Smith up front. That was intended for Ewing.
And a little too fast and too hard, and really Patrick Ewing not even getting a chance to get his hands up. Antonio Davis does a good job of pushing Patrick Ewing out or fronting him. That time he got around in front of you. And the Knicks are really not a good lob passing team. They've gotten away with a couple to Charles Smith, but they don't do it well.
Miller putting the move on Starks. Went to the put-up. And Harper on the rebound. Reggie Miller now 4 of 11. He has 9 points. Harper trying to go all the way, and he was hit. Neil Workman tried to knock it loose and made contact. Call for his third foul
At the start of this third period, and when you are getting that kind of pressure, you should look to drop your head and penetrate.
And a hold called on Miller. That's his first, and Indiana now over the limit.
I think Reggie Miller starting to get a little bit frustrated with the way that John Starks has played him, and it had not been a talking type of thing. He's just played him very well and made him work for everything. And Reggie Miller just caught with a little bit of a grab on John Starks.
John Starks has been off at the free throw line, usually a very fine free throw shooter. In fact, earlier in the playoffs against Chicago, he hit 11 of 11 at the line.
9 for 18 in the series coming into this ballgame, and that one was a little bit lucky as John started to back up as he released it. Not as confident as he normally is right now.
But for Starks, just one of his better games of the playoffs. 13 points, 7 assists, and again has done a good job against Reggie Miller. 6 minutes to go in the third. Ball knocked away from Dale Davis. And again a jump ball is called.
Trademark defense by the New York Knicks against the two-man play on screen and roll. 99 times out of 100, they trap it, and then when they rotate, they knock this one loose to force yet another jump ball.
Charles Oakley going against a man who can leap, Dale Davis. In fact, Larry Brown uses Dale Davis on the opening tip rather than Rick Smith, and Indiana controlling. Knicks lead 57-43. They have led all the way. They open the game with a 15-2 lead. Here's Miller for 3. Reggie Miller getting to the room and was able to knock down the three-pointer. The Knicks lead by 11. And for the Pacers, their first successful shot from downtown. They're 3 of 28 in the series. Offensive foul is called on Smith, and that is 4 on Charles Smith.
Well, this time with a little bit of a nudge, Reggie Miller able to shake loose of John Starks, catches this one with the feet squared up. And when he has that kind of time and that kind of room as Reggie Miller trying to duck on the top side over the screen of Charles Smith, and they call that foul on Charles Smith as he looked incredulously. What did I do?
Charles Smith hearing it from the crowd as he is replaced by Anthony Mason. Strong game for Smith. 16 points, 6 rebounds. Shot clock down to 4. Workman, yes. Hayward Workman has hit 4 out of 8. He has 8 points. And the Pacers have cut it to that Knicks lead. It's down to 9 with just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Harper with room for 3. Derek Harper has not been hitting the outside shot. 60-48. The Knicks with the lead. Antonio Davis. No call. Last touch by Ewing as it carried to the out of bounds.
Well, when Antonio Davis makes up his mind he's going to take the ball to the basket, he doesn't care who is in front of him. And Patrick Ewing, standing and waiting, takes the hit hard and goes hard to the floor. No whistle.
4:33 remaining in the third. And the Knicks lead by 12. Greatest game. Game 2 of this series last Thursday night here in New York. Reggie Miller, showing his frustration, stepped out of bounds after stealing the ball, took it out on a computer printer at the official scorer's table. We asked Reggie about his outburst leading to his throwing a punch at that courtside statistical printer.
I know I was going to go out there and shoot around and look for it, but I guess they put it in the bag, so I feel kind of bad about it, but you know, it's part of the game, so I'm sorry.
We said literally was a technical foul.
That's a good one, Mark.
Thank you.
I like that.
Well, the guys at the official scorer's table not taking any chances. That's the one that was broken, just in case they have 2 courtside statistical printers should Reggie get upset and want to take a swipe at one once again.
And with Reggie, you also have to hide the sawdust at the other end of the floor. Every time he wants to go to the free throw line, he wants to dust off and find at his end of the floor, but you don't want to help him.
And the officials checking with each other. Joey Crawford with the outside look, blowing his whistle. Dan Crawford and Jack Madden in disagreement. Pat Riley says, why not jump it up?
Well, Oakley and Davis going for the ball. It looks like Dale Davis knocked that ball out of bounds as he had the inside position. And, of course, he's got the longer reach over Oakley.
But it is called. Indiana ball. 12-point lead. 5 minutes. 4:25 remaining in the third. Workman played tightly by Harper. Shot clock at 6. Shot clock at 3. Workman had to force it. And Oakley with the rebound.
Well, that's the kind of defense that the Knicks have played all night long. Pressure on the ball, forcing tough shots, keeping Indiana from getting into any smooth set offense.
And the call away from the ball as Ewing was pushed by Dale Davis. That's 3 on Dale Davis.
And Davis telling the official that he flopped here as Davis trying to push him out a little bit. And with a little bit of acting, Patrick Ewing able to get the whistle from the referees. But it's so important when you're guarding Patrick Ewing to knock him off that block. But you have to be very careful how you do it. You cannot root him out with your knee. You're allowed to shove with one forearm.
Indiana's been over the limit for some time. Ewing kind of short on that free throw. The Knicks had hit 12 of 13 from the line. And Patrick had hit his first 3. The crowd trying to get it going.
Neither team can get anything going offensively in the half court because the defense has been so aggressive that every passer now has been challenged, and it's very difficult to get the ball into the post where normally there's going to be some kind of a double team, especially against the Patrick Ewing.
The Knicks have a 13-point lead. And the foul called on Mason. He and McKee were battling for position.
Same thing at the other end as the smaller Anthony Mason at 6'7", going to push 6'10" Derek McKee way outside, but officials trying to keep that part of the game under control because it could get out of hand.
Burns running down the backcourt with Reggie Miller, who fires. Rebounded by Antonio Davis. A new 24 for the Pacers. Starks trying to draw the foul. The official, Joe Crawford, did not go for it. A little acting by John Starks. Reggie Miller now has 14 points. The Knicks lead 61-50. Bad pass. Wild one. Thrown by Oakley. Charles Oakley had 8 turnovers the other day in Indiana. Here's Miller. Rebounded by Antonio Davis. And now he is fouled. Charles Oakley getting a little casual, a little sloppy with his passing. And it has hurt the last couple of games.
Well, there was the shove-off by Reggie Miller to just knock John Starks back a little bit before he nailed that jumper. Just a mild complaint by John Starks as he watched it back in.
Indiana now 4 of 16 at the line. Antonio Davis, who hauled down that rebound, now has 8. And the Pacers are doing it off the offensive boards, 9-1.
And Bert Fleming putting up double fists, possibly looking for a random trap in this situation. If they can get a run-and-jump situation, none has shown up yet.
Mason played by McKee. Starks wide open. Yes. his fourth three-pointer. 16 points for Starks. The Knicks 64 and the Pacers 52. The Knicks are 5 of 10 from three-point land. LaSalle Thompson. Throw it away. Ewing played by Thompson. Knicks swinging the ball. And a foul on Thompson. LaSalle Thompson has seen very limited action in this series. Pacers actually surprised that he's been able to come back. They thought he was out the rest of the playoffs after he suffered the broken bone in his left hand in game 1 of the series against the Orlando Magic.
Well, it is over a month ago. A lot of things could have happened in that time period, as it was done on April 28th, the first game, as he just inadvertently bumped into Shaquille O'Neal and broke a bone in that hand. The Knicks did a good job of showing a lot of patience that time and getting the ball inside of Patrick Ewing on a transition play. Their offense just looks so much better. Now, a lot of that is because the defense has been so good. They've gotten so many fast breaks that will even make the New York Knicks offense look pretty at times.
Ewing 5 for 6 at the line. The Knicks lead 66-52 as we approach 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Ahmad Rashad before a sellout crowd at Madison Square Garden. Here's Vern Fleming. Yes, and it counts. Vern Fleming with a beautiful move, and he drew the foul.
Well, Vern Fleming does a very good job using his left hand, as he always goes very well to the left. He has to change it over to the right hand, but you saw that graphic before. Patrick Ewing just 1 rebound. He did block 4 shots in the first half, changed a few more, and he's been going after everything in the third quarter. And when you're that active, you're not going to get a lot of rebounds.
Another offensive rebound for Indiana. Down by 12. Byron Scott trying to shake loose. Thompson with a good pass. Thompson for Antonio Davis. Very impressive numbers now for Antonio Davis. 10 points, 8 rebounds. 10-point Knick lead. They trap Hopper. Minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. Shot clock at 7. Mason. And rebounded by Thompson, who's done a nice job. Scott. Antonio Davis. Crowd wanted to travel. He lost it.
Well, we've seen a number of real nice spin moves on the baseline. Very difficult to defend when that offensive player makes that quick move. And if you're standing straight up, your first reaction is put your hands out.
Hopper will reset. 50 seconds remaining in the third. Starks with room. And Mason recovers. Knicks get the new 24. Ewing drawing the double team. Oakley lost it. Starks recaptures. Here's Starks for Oakley. And a foul call.
Well, the Knicks in a hurry here with the situation where they're trying to get 2 shots for 1, and there's now 28.8 seconds. I believe that's the point 8. Yes, it is left in the quarter. And John Starks rushing things in there, drawing the defense, and now we have another technical foul.
Larry Brown been working the sidelines in aggressive fashion, at least vocally. And he is called for the technical foul. John Starks will shoot it.
Larry giving the rabbit ear signal to referee Danny Crawford, I guess objecting to the fact that Charles Oakley didn't deserve to get put on the free throw line, as he just kind of leaned his body in. There's no way that Charles Oakley is himself bothered by that sore foot. He's not active on the offensive board. He's kind of hanging on the perimeter at the offensive end, trying to do his best. And the defensive end has forced a couple of shots and some passes, but he wants to be out on the floor and make a contribution to his team in this crucial 5th game.
Charles Oakley, 2 of 2 from the line. 8 points, 9 rebounds. seconds remaining in the third. Greg Anthony has not seen much action here tonight. He's checking in. Replacing Derek Hoffer. LaSalle Thompson now departs. Knicks lead 67-56. Indiana Pacers have lost 11 straight here at Madison Square Garden. 31 of their last 33. A different story at home. They have won their last 10 straight games overall at home going back to the regular season. Shot clock is at 5. Fleming with another nice move. 7 seconds to go in the quarter. The Knicks lead by 10. Herb Williams, the former Indiana Pacer, Herb Williams, extends the Knicks lead as time runs out in the third quarter. And in the third, the Knicks were led by Charles Smith, 8 of the 16 points in New York. The Knicks with a 70-58 lead. After 3 for the Knicks, that is a very high point total. When you consider they had 77 in Game 4 and 69 for all of Game 3. Let's say 68 in Game 3. Rick Smith with the move on Herb Williams. Rick Smith playing with 4 fouls. Greg Anthony in the backcourt with John Starks, Herb Williams, Anthony Mason, and Charles Oakley up front. Starks looking for the screen. Starks rebounded by Kenny Williams. And Vern Fleming moves down. Fleming and Miller in the backcourt. Here's Miller. Yes. The 3 for Reggie Miller. 17 points for Miller. And the Knicks now lead by 9.
Reggie's starting to chirp a little with some people on the front row. Not at John Starks, but the Knicks, of course, pride themselves on their fourth quarter defense. We'll see.
Oakley, foul. Also caught Fleming in the throat on the follow-through. Rick Smith call for the foul. As Seth Vern Fleming shake it up. And that's the Indiana trainer, David Sprague, checking him out.
Of course, Vern Fleming has had some tough injuries this year, none tougher than when Shaquille O'Neal fell on top of him and he lost 15 teeth as they went through his lower lip, and also took a gash on his knee for 12 big stitches as Charles Oakley's follow-through trying to catch Vern Fleming right in that throat area. He's in a lot of pain right now. Rick Smith is just having an awful game, and of course that was a big key for Indiana coming in. Not only has he not scored, he's had the foul problems and 6 turnovers, which got the Knicks started off on the right foot in the first quarter.
And this had been a solid series for the 7'4" Rick Smith, who's played only 18 minutes. Scored only 6 points. The Knicks 72 and the Pacers 61. So Workman now in the backcourt with Miller. Dale Davis up front, along with LaSalle Thompson and Kenny Williams. Gilbert Davis has just checked in. Call for the foul. Matt, I believe this is a new playoff record. Most Davises on the floor in a single game. Gilbert Davis for the Knicks, Antonio and Dale Davis for the Pacers. We'll have to check out the record book. Miller's pass broken up. And it will be Indiana ball. Let's go over to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, Vern Fleming, as you just called it, took a shot to the throat, and he is now applying the cure-all ice to it, and he appears to be fine, and he will be able to come into the game. Marv?
Reggie Miller is fine. Once again, hits from downtown. He has 20 points. And that Knick lead has been trimmed to 8. And one stretch they led by as many as 16 that was back in the first half. A minute and 45 in, fourth quarter. Thompson jumping out for the steal, and then is fouled by Davis. LaSalle Thompson has done an excellent job in very limited time.
And Hubert Davis is having all kinds of problems now with Reggie Miller as he tried to go over the screen, and when you do that, it gives Reggie Miller all kinds of time to line that shot up. You have to follow him hard, and then trust your teammates are going to help you.
Miller comes off the pitch. Outplayed by Anthony. Thompson setting the screen. Screen and roll. Thompson picked up by Oakley. Shot clock at 5. Workman. And the rebound handled by Dale Davis. And pushed away. Ewing establishing position, but Thompson saw the pass coming, and he does it again.
Well, they're telling the grabs the passes, and they are bounce passes and very slow, and Thompson, who's not the fleetest of foot, is able to get a hand and knock them loose.
Here's Williams. Kenny Williams with a nice move. And the Pacers on a roll have come within 6. Timeout called by the Knicks.
Well, this little bounce pass out here. On the other hand, Patrick Ewing has to protect that passer instead of continuing to fight for that position. Step out and catch the pass as Kenny Williams finishes off the play at the other end.
This workmanship could make
25 remaining in the fourth. And the Pacers within 6. Kept alive again by Dale Davis. Here's Miller. Swings away and hits. Reggie Miller is on fire. He has 22, and Indiana has moved within 4.
Well, it looks like Reggie is going to try to carry that offense on his shoulders. He keeps looking over that sideline and has a comment after every time he makes a field goal.
It's the closest the Pacers have been since the early moments when it was 7-2. A turnover committed by the Knicks. Patrick Ewing not able to handle that pass from Hubert Davis. Let's go to a line.
During that last timeout, Larry Brown telling his players that when Reggie Miller comes off the pick and they double Reggie, he wants you to kick it back to the point guard and enable Haywood Workman to take the open jump shot.
Well, Reggie Miller has been getting the open shot in the second half. He now has 22 points in all. Indiana in the midst of a 10-2 run. Down by only 4. LaSalle Thompson with the ball has been a major factor. Miller open again. His foot on the line. That's a 2-pointer. And Reggie Miller in an animated discussion with Spike Lee, who is an ardent Knicks fan and has a courtside seat. I think Spike has him revved up.
Well, he can't get John Starks to talk to him or Hubert Davis or anybody on the Knicks, so he's talking to the fans.
Another Knicks turnover. Here's Workman, and he's fouled by Hoffer.
Reggie Miller losing John Starks this time for the wide open shot. His right foot was on the line, and Reggie will have something to say to Spike Lee. A 12-2 run now by the Pacers as Pat Riley, after that timeout, came out with Derek Harper and John Starks not happy at all with the way Greg Anthony and Hubert Davis were defending.
And Reggie Miller has accounted for 10 of the 12 Indiana points here in the fourth quarter. Reggie Miller giving the choke sign to Spike Lee. Spike is appealing to the official, Dan Crawford. I don't think that Spike realizes he's not in the game. It does not matter what Reggie does in the direction of Spike Lee. He wants a taunting foul called on Reggie. Reggie's taunting Spike Lee.
After every field goal.
Game tied at 72. 4 minutes gone by. Again, LaSalle Thompson is able to steal the pass. Now, I would think the Knicks would realize that there's something wrong at this point. That's 3 entry passes that LaSalle Thompson has picked off.
Well, it's twofold. It's the passer not getting low enough below the free. Look at this shot.
And he hits it. It's a 3-pointer for Reggie Miller, who again is staring in the direction of, yes, that man. The Pacers lead 75-72 with 7:39 remaining in the fourth quarter.
And good defense by there. You're playing a man 26, 27 feet away from the basket, and Reggie Miller has one idea on his mind right now, and that's shoot the ball every time he touches it.
Would you guess that there will not be a future acting role in Reggie's turned it around for the Indiana Pacers? Reggie quiet over the first 3 games of the series. came forth with 31 in game number 4 and has been talking it up on the court and doing it with the jump shot. We talked about that with Reggie Miller.
You know, I don't go out there to start trouble or anything like that, but, you know, in this game, everyone talks. You know, it's just not me. I mean, Derek Harper was talking just as much as I was, but because people think I'm known for it, and I'm the one who gets all the headlines for it. So, you know, we're just out there. I call it psychological warfare. Everyone's trying to get an edge. So, everyone knows how to play this game physically, but I think mentally is what gets people over the edge.
Well, Reggie Miller has been using what he calls the psychological warfare to his advantage. But for the most part, it has not been with Knicks players. The taunting has been with Knicks fans, movie director Spike Lee.
Well, none of the Knicks players will respond to him, and clearly the Knicks are shaken right now. Offensively, they almost threw that ball away as Anthony Mason had his head turned and having all kinds of problems getting the ball inside to Patrick Ewing. The passer not doing a good job. Patrick not doing a good job of protecting that passer. And you got a man on fire in Reggie Miller right now, so the Knicks are reeling.
Reggie Miller with 13 of his 27 points here in the fourth quarter. LaSalle Thompson has come off the bench and done a superb job. And with that big body, he's also been effective at setting picks to allow Miller to unleash in this fourth quarter. 5 minutes into the fourth. Here's Miller again. Reggie Miller with 30 points, and the Pacers lead by 5.
Well, the whole Pacer offense right now is everybody look to set a screen for Reggie Miller, and he'll do the rest of the work. Work his man off that screen, set up, and shoot the ball. And it doesn't really look like anything you do right now. He's so far away on the floor to double team him, and John Starks is working very hard.
And remember, most of Miller's points the other day as Hopper misfires on the three, most of his points came at the foul line. It was 17 for 19. He has not had this kind of shooting performance. 16 of his 30 have come in the fourth quarter. Kenny Williams, rebounded by Charles Oakley. Indiana has outscored the Knicks 20-3 in the fourth. Well, apparently they changed that last shot to a two-pointer. He had stepped on the line. All right, here's Harper for 3. Indiana leads by 5. Miller's hit his last 4 shots. Here's Miller for 3. Yes! Oh, Pat Riley calls for time. Just an astounding shooting exhibition being put on by Reggie Miller. And now we're told they did not change it to a three-point shot. Here's a look at the last 3 by Reggie Miller, but it appeared that Miller did step on the line. This a previous shot. All right, Miller teeing it up, Matt. Put on the line. That should have been a 2, but they counted it as a 3.
Oh, again, that time, Dale Davis out of control on a fast break, jumped in the air and had to twist his body in a very awkward position to throw it outside to Reggie Miller. And for some unknown reason, Charles Smith was just running away, and there was Reggie Miller standing wide open. Anybody on the Knicks is going to have to find this guy and stay with him and try and deny the basketball. The craziest thing was the play before Kenny Williams took a shot. I don't know why.
Reggie Miller, 42% from three-point land for the season. First 2 rounds, you see he shot well. Not the case going into today, but tonight, 6 of 11 from three-point land. 5 for 5 from downtown in this fourth quarter. 19 points for Miller in the fourth. He has destroyed the Knicks. And the Knicks have gone cold. They're trailing by 8 points. Foul is called. Foul on Kenny Williams. Correction is on LaSalle Thompson. And now Antonio Davis will come on, along with Derek McKee and LaSalle Thompson being greeted back at the bench. What a terrific effort. The type of effort that will not show up on the stat sheet.
Well, his main job was to put that big body on the baseline and knock people off to get Reggie Miller those clean looks. And Reggie, of course, has done the rest.
Harper through the foul. Meanwhile, Patrick Ewing has attempted only 2 shots in the second half. He is 0 for 2 from the field. This after the strong first half.
They can't get the ball to Patrick Ewing. It's a 23-3 run. This ball game started out as the Knicks ran off and led 28-16, only led by 8 points at the halftime, and Larry Brown told Ahmad that he said to his team, hey, for as poorly as we played and missing free throws, we're not in such bad shape. Let's just try to hang around and give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter.
Reggie Miller with 24 of his 33 points in the second half. 19 here.
With the ball on the left side of the floor. Kenny Williams going to screen down for Reggie Miller coming off. Stark staying close, but Charles Smith is going to drop all the way down here. What he has to do is come out here and either deny the ball or step out and help. He doesn't do it, and Reggie Miller gets wide open for another jump shot.
Indiana has outscored the Knicks here in the fourth quarter by the count of 23-5. Reggie Miller with 19 of the 23 Indiana points. Pacers lead 81-75. 5:25 to go in the fourth. A remarkable turnaround by Indiana. And it will be Knick ball. Last touch by Workman. Larry Brown not happy with that call.
The Knicks getting a little dose of the Pacers' medicine right back, and Patrick Ewing this time in front of Smith, and he did not step out to protect the passer.
Rick Smith playing with 5 fouls. Starks with the Dunderway move on Miller for 3. On the back tap, Knicks recover. Oakley for Ewing. Patrick Ewing going glass. Cuts it to a 4-point Indiana lead. Patrick was thinking tomahawk dunk that time, but he got resistance from Smith as Harper gets nailed in the backcourt. Harper got picked off. Miller looking for the shot, does not force it. Shot clock is at 10. There's Smith drawing a double team, finding Workman. Shot clock at 5. Workman had it knocked away, then recovered. The key with the Davis split. And it's a 24-second violation. What an aggressive defensive sequence that was.
And now the Pacers, for some unknown reason, trying to go inside to Rick Smith and going away from the hot hand Reggie Miller, and the aggressive New York defense is taking advantage of it.
The Knicks are only 1 of 6 from the field here in the fourth. Harper and Starks at the guard. Ewing, Smith, Oakley on the front line. We come up on 4 minutes to go. Ewing fouled by Smith, and that's his 6th.
That time, Patrick Ewing fought for it and got good position, and knowing Rick Smith in foul trouble and about to foul out, just tipped that shoulder and took it hard to the hole. The first clean catch by Patrick Ewing in the post in quite some time.
So Rick Smith with only 6 points and 2 rebounds. So that means a matchup of Antonio Davis, at least for the moment. Earlier, Larry Brown did go with the veteran, the 6'10" LaSalle Thompson. Ewing, 7 of 8 from the line, 23 points. The Knicks in the first half led by as many as 16. Indiana with the tear here in the fourth quarter. And now the Knicks coming back, down by 2. 81-79. Harper handshaking Workman. The champ of defense. Harper going for the steal, made contact, and he is called for the foul. His 4th.
Well, Workman, who has been pressured all night long and very well by Derek Harper, that time just wearing Derek Harper down and finally beating him on the dribble. And I think Harper just got tired and just reached in and grabbed.
The Knicks with their 14th foul. Indiana with 5. Again, the pressure. Workman finally gets it back. Miller trying to come off the pick, lost the dribble. Oakley dives for it. Starks trying to save it from a backcourt violation, and now it is a backcourt violation. Or let's see, perhaps a 24-second violation. Yes, they reset the 24. And it will be Pacer ball.
I guess they're going to rule that Charles Oakley had possession as he dove for that ball, but the Knicks did a much better job that time. Reggie Miller was coming off a double stagger screen, and Charles Oakley showed way out, which made Reggie Miller fumble that ball.
Timeout taken. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. They've changed to a 20-second timeout. Pacers take a 20. Indiana now holding on to a 2-point lead.
Well, there, Reggie Miller fumbled that ball against the good defense of John Starks, and you really couldn't see Oakley, but he was the one who forced Reggie to fumble it. And on that dive and catch, they ruled a change of possession, and as Charles Oakley tried to throw it back to John Starks, referee Joey Crawford realized that the shot clock had not changed, and that's why he blew the whistle.
Well, for the Knicks, another eventful game number 5. Earlier, we showed you the highlight of last season's game 5 between the Knicks and the Bulls in the conference finals. And remember, the Knicks had won the first 2 games of the series a year ago against the Bulls and then lost 4 in a row. Now, that was Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, but here are the Knicks faced with the same prospect. They win the first 2, lose the next 2, trailing here in game 5.
Well, they came out ready to play, had a very good first half, but it's a 48-minute game, and these blows come for all teams, and let's see if the Knicks can withstand them.
Ball wanted to travel on the key. Miller and hits again. 35 for Reggie Miller. 14 of 26 from the field. 21 of the 35 have come here in the fourth quarter. The playoff record, most points in a quarter, is 29. Eric Sleepy Floyd did it for Golden State back in May of '87. And Reggie Miller with 21 in the fourth. Indiana leads by 4. Starks with the reverse. Rebound Oakley. And then picked up by McKee. Just under 3 minutes to go. In the fourth quarter, it is a wild finish with the Pacers turning it around, and they extend the lead as Dale Davis gets his first field goal to give the Pacers a 6-point advantage.
But when a great offensive player has it going, there is not a whole lot you can do except keep the ball out of his hands. John Stark draped all over Reggie Miller, face in his hands, still can't stop it.
2:45 remaining in the fourth. Performance by the Pacers here in the fourth quarter. An Indiana club that has won only 2 of the last 33 here at Madison Square Garden, but an Indiana team that has been potent at home. They've not only won during the course of the playoffs, but they have won big most of the time, making these final 2 minutes and 45 seconds critical for the New York Knicks. They're down 85 to 79 with 2:35 remaining now, with Harper moving to the top of the circle. Starks for Oakley. Open shot. Charles Oakley not able to hit. And it's run down by Reggie Miller. And a foul is called, a push on Patrick Ewing. Both teams are over the foul limit.
Well, Reggie, a quicker of foot than Patrick Ewing, able to chase down that loose ball in the right corner, was trying to, I think, call timeout to prevent a turnover, but he got a break there as he got shoved by Patrick Ewing. The three-point game of the Indiana Pacers has been dormant throughout this series. Just 3 for 21 coming into this game, but it has come alive with this man. 6 for 11 today. When you put him on the free throw line, a 91% shooter for the year, and shooting that in this series as well.
Indiana has outscored the Knicks 28-9 in the fourth. Reggie Miller now with 23 of Indiana's 29 points in the fourth quarter. And Indiana leads by 8. You mentioned Eric Sleepy Floyd, most points in a quarter in the playoffs with 29, and Reggie Miller is right on track. Pacers with an 87-79 lead. A Knicks collapse here in the fourth. Charles Smith, rebounded by Jared McKee.
It's partly a Knicks collapse, but you have to give a lot of credit to the Indiana Pacers defense. They out
the basket. Hopper taking and Smith with him.
Well, nothing much working for the Knicks, so Derek Harper trying to put it on his shoulders to create something on a kind of open floor situation and take the ball to the basket, looking for a three-point play. John Starks, throughout a lot of the second half, because he had some success shooting three-pointers, maybe he started looking for too many of them. That play before where he just comes off the Ewing screen at about 16, 17 feet is normally a good play for John Starks and Patrick Ewing. The Knicks have not run it enough.
Foul was called on Antonio Davis. His fifth 6-point lead for the Pacers. Minute 34 remaining. Indiana with a 29-11 edge on the Knicks here in the fourth. The Knicks have hit only 1 of 9 from the field. Miller checks the basket. 8 on the shot clock. Dumps it off for Antonio Davis, who gets inside. Antonio Davis protecting the ball and extends to an 8-point Pacer lead. A shocking finish here in the fourth quarter. Indiana by 8. We come up on a minute to go. Offensive foul. It's on Patrick Ewing.
Patrick stepping out to try to free up John Starks for a three-point shot, leaning into Reggie Miller, who does the little Hollywood job of acting to fall down hard. Patrick Ewing not agreeing with the call. Take another look. And I could see why Patrick would disagree with that call. Seemed to be standing still and holding that screen.
Well, Art Knicks fans, Knicks historians would compare this Indiana performance, that if they hold on for the victory, to one game in Knicks history, but hopefully with a steal, then the key wraps it up and they'll jump it up. You'd have to go back to April of 1971 when a highly favored New York Knicks team, the year after they won their first championship, talking of the Knicks of Willis Reed and Walt Frazier and Dave DeBusschere and Dick Barnett and Bill Bradley, lost to the Bullets in a huge upset in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final right here at Madison Square Garden. They lost by 2 points, and the crowd sat stunned. This is the closest to that moment. Still 53 seconds remaining, though. We'll be right back.
In your mind, focus. Now it's all there. The balance, the elbow, the follow-through. Focus. You can tell as it leaves your hand. It's so right. Your teammates anticipate it, and your opponent, he fears it, because he knows that there will be no rebound.
On the right, the president of the New York Knicks, Dave Checketts. On the left, Vice President, General Manager Ernie Grunfeld, looking stunned by developments here in the fourth quarter. The Knicks led by as many as 16 in the first half. That Raleigh Ball Club now trailing the Indiana Pacers 89-81. The Knicks going cold again. This time 1 for 9 in the fourth quarter. Outscored 31-11 by the Pacers in the fourth. A spectacular performance by Reggie Miller. 14 of 26 overall, 37 points. 23 of his 37 in the fourth. Overall, he's hit 6 from downtown. Here's Ewing. Patrick Ewing gets inside. Like Antonio Davis was shaken up as he was kicked off, hurt his elbow. Timeout is called by the Pacers with 45 seconds remaining in the fourth, and Indiana up by 6, and both teams are down to 1 timeout left.
Well, on the jump ball, Antonio Davis battling with Patrick Ewing as they get all tangled up, and as Davis hit the deck, he either bruised that elbow or caught the funny bone, as he's still in a lot of pain over on the Indiana Pacer bench.
Still 45 seconds remaining, but if the Indiana Pacers hold on and defeat the New York Knicks, they would be in position to make it back from 0-2 to win a best-of-7. Game number 6 coming up back at Indianapolis on Friday night. These are the teams that have come back from 0-2 deficits, including the Chicago Bulls against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Finals a year ago, and Houston did it against Phoenix in the Western semifinals this season.
Well, a couple of interesting statistics. The Pacers had the rebounding edge throughout the ballgame, but it didn't seem to be that important because it looked like the Knicks were in control of the ballgame, and also Indiana had kicked the ball all over the place. Now, that statistic is all tied up at 18 each. But throw those statistics out the window. They're kind of a trend, but the biggest statistics are the ones that Reggie Miller put up in the fourth period, and, of course, the Pacer defense in that fourth quarter.
And Matt, Reggie Miller telling us before the game that he felt that this was the biggest game of his basketball career. Well, that'll be until Friday night, which will probably amount to the same type of situation. But this is the pivotal fifth game of a best of seven. And for the NBA franchise history of the Pacers, Larry Brown felt it certainly represents the biggest game for this franchise.
Well, still a lot of time left in this one with 45 seconds, a 6-point lead for Indiana. We've seen crazier things happen. And then even if Indiana does hold on and win it, of course, things aren't over. The New York Knicks, who have not been a good road playoff team, only winning that one in New Jersey, but, you know, they'll come in all fired up.
Hoffer gets the foul. Stopping the clock. Workman will go to the line. Indiana Pacers with the lead despite the awful free throw shooting. 9 of 22 from the line. Workman is usually solid off the line. He's 2 for 2 here tonight.
Reggie Miller had one more parting shot. He probably will have a few more for Spike Lee as he walks by. He probably said, hey, can you come to Indiana on Friday?
And the Pacers now lead 90-83. Here's Dale Davis replacing Derek McKee. Apparently McKee remains on the floor.
Larry going a little offense-defense, wanting to keep his best foul shooters on the floor when they have possession, and at the other end, wanting to get his better defensive players, obviously.
So he has McKee, Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, along with Workman and Miller. 35 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Indiana leads by 8. The steal by Miller. Starks recovers. And Antonio Davis gets to it. Gets it over to Miller. So the Knicks turn it over. And the Knicks are hearing boos from the crowd. The Indiana Pacers with 21 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter lead by 8. And they are headed back to the line as Charles Oakley was called for the foul.
Ball knocked loose from John Starks. Everybody getting on the floor going after this as Reggie Miller knocks it loose one time. Antonio Davis is going to set it free as well as John Starks diving over. And then Reggie Miller will get hit very hard by Charles Oakley on the intentional foul to put him on the line. And one more shot. That's Spike Lee.
38 points for Miller. 24 in the fourth quarter. And the Pacers now lead by 10. 93-83. Starks for 3. And this will go down as a very dark day in New York Knicks history. The Indiana Pacers are celebrating over at the bench. A remarkable turnaround effort by the Pacers, doing it in New York where they had lost 11 in a row, 31 of 33. The Knicks will have many questions to answer after this one as Ewing hits a three-pointer. It's a 7-point Pacer lead, and that is the final score as Reggie Miller spikes it to conclude matters. He finishes with 39 points, 25 in the fourth quarter, only 4 away from an NBA playoff record that is held by Eric Sleepy Floyd.